Moses joining the desk. First look at sports. And of course, Lloydminster Bobcats hoping to put the scare into another division opponent tonight at the Civic.
Yeah, and it all starts with that winning streak, winning 8 of their last 10 games in that North Division, especially against those tough teams. The Drayton Valley Thunder included in that mix. And a big reason for that win streak, their ability to find a different hero in every game like they did in Sherwood Park the other night.
I just kind of snuck in backdoorish, and he gave me a beautiful feed, and I one-timered it in, and yeah, felt really good. Kind of blacked out actually when it happened.
They might need some more of that kind of magic this evening. Drayton Valley has always put up a fight against the Bobcats. In recent years, the Thunder seem to have the Felines' number, winning the season series in each of the past 2 seasons, as well as a 3-2 loss in Drayton Valley back on September 13th. But the Bobcats say they're a completely different team.
There's always that mental factor, but we've grown up a lot. We've got a lot closer. We've learned how to play our D zone a lot better, and I think we're a lot better defensively. And if we can put the puck in the net, I think we have a threat to win.
They do good against us, and they're a hard team, but you know, we're doing pretty good right now, and I think they'll see a different team than what they saw last time we played them.
Meanwhile, the status for Jimmy Tisch's return is doubtful for tonight's game, according to the Bobcats coaching staff, citing Tisch's conditioning. Puck drop for tonight, 7:30. The Wheatland Football League final kicks off in less than 24 hours. Lloydminster's very own Lloydcomp Barons and Holy Rosary Raiders are facing off for football supremacy. Claire Hanna chats with our football insider about the Border City matchup.
Andrew Brethauer joins me today. He is the sports editor for the Lloydminster Source and has been covering these 2 teams over the past 2 seasons. Now, getting right to it, Andrew, the Barons have 2 of the top 3 receivers in the league in Denton Collins and Clark Block. But on the Raiders side of things, they have one of the strongest defenses, as Liam Hayward alone has 53 tackles. How will this offense and defense match up?
It's going to be a great matchup, but I think you have to give the advantage to the Raiders defense. Their defense has only allowed 50 points all season. And, you know, let's remember that week 3 matchup when they played each other, Denton Collins wasn't in that game. And so he's going to add a different weapon to this game that the Barons didn't have before. But I think the Raiders, who've been able to shut down everybody all season, they're going to have no problem stopping another weapon, and they'll just have no problem stopping this game.
Now, the Raiders also have a hot offense in Carl Teledetsky and Andrew Kalfas, who have combined for over 800 rushing yards. Could that be an edge for the Raiders?
I think that it is the edge in this game. You have to look at both quarterbacks are capable of throwing, but if you look at the running game, the advantage does go to the Raiders. Barons haven't been able to establish the running game like they have all season long. But the Raiders have been able to, with Kalfas, who's been able to get yards, touchdowns, and big plays. And in that week 3 matchup, he ran for 133 yards. Didn't get the touchdowns, but you're not going to hold him out in the final game.
Now, going back to quarterbacks, we do see the number 1 and 2 quarterbacks in the Wheatland Football League here. They are only separated by a number of yards. Who do you think has the win here, Kirk Hann or Carl Teledetsky?
It's easy to give it to Kirk Hann because he has so many yards and so many touchdowns, but let's not take away the experience that Carl Teledetsky has. You know, 2 years ago, he's in the semifinals and lost. Last year in the finals and lost, and also in the provincial finals and lost. So this is a grade 12 student who wants to win this year. If I had to pick a quarterback in the finals, it's Carl Teledetsky.
Who do you think will be the victorious winner in the game tomorrow?
I originally said that the Barons weren't even going to make the playoffs, let alone be in a championship game. So I think my heart has to go out to the Barons. But I do think after everything I've said, I think the Raiders still might come out as winners in this game.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a very tight matchup. Thank you so much for your time, Andrew. Kickoff is tomorrow at Holy Rosary Field at 6 o'clock.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. That is your first look at sports. Bart Padiasic has your weather details coming up. The Lakeland Rustlers basketball teams are set for tip-off tonight at Lakeland Gym. The men are coming off a split last weekend in Fort McMurray. The Rustlers sit at 1-3 and have a tough task ahead, hosting the undefeated Grand Prairie Wolves this weekend.
They're a pretty balanced attack. I think they have 4 or 5 guys that they spread the ball between. But I think we have a good team too. We're pretty balanced. It's just we have to limit their baskets inside and limit their fast break points, and we'll be all right.
This sweeps the goal. I mean, we're trying to break even and be 3-3 in our season. So we don't want to start off too bad. You know what I mean? We want to get back in the pack with the rest of the teams in the north.
Now, tip-off for the men is at 8 o'clock following the women's game. Meanwhile, the Lakeland Rustlers Curling teams open up the year with the BP Cup. This will be the second go-around for the competition that pits the curling teams from Lakeland College and Augustana University. They will compete in a Continental Cup-style format, which includes head-to-head, a skins game format, as well as a skills competition. It's also a chance for the program to earn some valuable playing experience.
It's a great friendly competition, and what it really does for our players, it gets them to play against the people they're going to be playing against all year. So that it gives them a feel for it, so they're not surprised at the first regional.
We're pretty excited. We get to see Camrose right off the bat, so they're usually pretty tough competition. So it'd be nice to come out this weekend and beat them, get your confidence up there a little bit, and get set and ready to play at regionals.
The competition begins tomorrow morning in Vermilion. Speaking of curling, we'll stay with that theme. The 10th annual Whitney Field Junior Curling Classic begins today, and this year's teams from across Canada and even as far as Switzerland will be participating. The Lloydminster Curling Club has been hard at work to getting set to host the Bonspiel, which originally hosted teams from Alberta and Saskatchewan.
It's really mind-boggling when you think about how far we've come and what the original goal was. I mean, and now we're, talking about international teams and stuff and bringing them to Lloydminster, right? Because we have a great city, and it's, I'm proud that we host this Bonspiel here. So.
This is such a cool.
And if you want to participate, you better get in line.
By the middle of August, we had filled our Bonspiel, it gets earlier and earlier, which is good, but it kind of makes you sit back and go, wow, we've done well.
The tournament pays tribute to the late Whitney Field, who passed away in a car accident back in 2004.
We were on the road all the time, and we didn't have that opportunity to have the great competition in our building, right, at home. And that was a part of it too, is because she always wanted that, right? She wanted to be able to curl, a competitive spiel at home against the other teams that we traveled every weekend to curl in.
The Classic gets underway tonight and will run all weekend, featuring some of the strongest junior curlers in Canada.
She won the World Juniors last year, and she'll be back here this weekend trying to win it again. I expect the level of play to be very high. It's some great entertainment for people who enjoy the sport of curling to come down and watch these juniors. They love what they do, and they're very serious about it.
And that's all the time we have in sports. We'll have more Newcap news and weather for you after the break.